Hey everybody, this is Jim, and I want to show you something about the rear axle assembly and how that whole thing's going to go together. Now what I'm doing on my truck is I want to lower the truck. So one of the easier ways to do that, if you're going to keep your stock leaf springs, which I am, is I'm going to put the axle from below, which is where it was, which is set down here, I'm going to move it to on top. Now, there's a lot to that. It's not real simple, and if you watch my other videos, you'll see how that works. But I want to point something out here. What I'm going to do, effectively, is I'm going to limit the amount of travel. Now, right now, these springs have no pressure on them. Once you get the weight on them, they're going to sit up, and they're actually up against the bump stop, I'm sure, once the axle is installed. So we can't leave the stock frame as it is. So instead, we need more room. So the way to do that is with what's called a step notch. And this is one that I'm building currently. Now it's not done, but let me back up a little bit. And if you can imagine that right in this area right here, if there was a hole cut out and the frame effectively came here, stopped, turned, went up, over, and back down and continued on its merry little way, that is exactly what we're going to have here when I get done with this kit. Now I'm not going to do that until after I have the axle assembled, but kind of hit a snag with that. I'm waiting for some parts. I'm waiting for some things I need. So I'm moving on with the project. I'm not going to wait around forever. And so I've started putting together this step notch. Now I got to tell you what, I wish I was smart enough to have come up with this. And I could have cut out the pieces with a plasma cutter and done all that. But I found an awesome house to build it in, a parts house supplier that you can get these from. And I'm going to move my way over here. I apologize for the movement. And by the way, that background, that's not static. That is rain on a metal roof. Going over here to the workbench. And what I have here, I ordered these from Paul Horton's Welder Series. I tell you what, they've got a whole collection of stuff. Pretty much any part that you need fabrication for. I wish I had found these guys before I did the front end on my truck. I might have done it differently. But you can see that from their catalog that they've got complete front end kits and just everything that you need here. All kinds of different parts, gussets, pedals, assemblies, just about any part that you can imagine. And one of the parts that I found is a step notch kit. Now this is the way that the panel that you just saw over there, this is what it looked like when I started. And I'm going to make it so it looks like that other one. This Paul Horton's is a great company. I don't know if he's related to Tim or not, but you know, they didn't really say. But the fact is that it's a great company, and everything is shipped from Canada. All their prices are Canadian, and right now our exchange rate is right around 30%. So, I mean, it said $95 for this kit, and like 30% off. So I got it for like $65. It's all there. It's all pre-cut. All I got to do is bend it and put it together. So you can see the plate here. And what I'm going to do, some people call it a C-notch, by the way. You can see why they would say that. But what I've got to do is I've got to bend each of these panels over 90 degrees. So to do that, I have my trusty bench vise here, and I'm going to slip this guy right in there. And I put it just above, I want that mark just above the jaws. Tighten it down good. Now you can hit that with a hammer if you wanted to, but I found with a good pressure from my forearm, I might flex it a little bit, but I found that is ample to bend that over. Now the trick with this is make sure you go to 90 degrees, don't go past 90, because these little tabs that they leave on there after they laser cut it, they don't like bending back the other direction very much. They do, you know, obviously it's just a little tiny piece there, and it will snap if you're not careful. So I'm using my trusty framing square here, and bending these guys right to 90. There's 90 degrees right there. So I'm going to take that bad boy out of there. I'm going to flip it around. Now you got to make sure you keep bending them in the same direction, obviously. That would be bad. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It would snap off and I'd have to weld it. But hey, if I can have this piece basically hold itself together while I weld it, I mean, my goodness, you couldn't do better than that. So I'm going to put this guy right down in the jaw, just like that. Now here, hopefully you can see there's one little tab, two little tabs, three little tabs that hold this together. It's laser cut in the other locations. And I'm just going to bend that right down. Simple, simple, simple. Great engineering. I love it when people come up with a great solution for a problem. So I bend that right down. You can see that you might have heard that little pop. That was that little center tab snapping. Remember, the purpose of the tabs is just there until you get it welded. And so, there we go, right there, 90 degrees. So if they snap, it's not a huge deal. I mean, you know, it's not necessarily something you want to have happen, but it's not going to hurt anything because this whole seam right here is going to get welded, obviously. Plus, that leaves an awesome gap right there automatically for welding. I mean, it's really a smart setup, and they even included the little spacers along the edge here so that when you put the other pieces together, it all holds place. Nice, nice setup. I love good engineering. Good stuff. All right, we'll bend the last one over the exact same way. Now again, I'm a fairly big guy. I don't claim to be Mr. Muscle Man or anything, but you know, I can do it by hand. It's nice and gentle that way. I'm not banging up my pieces, bending them all up or anything. I'm not abusing them in any fashion. And again, bending it to 90 degrees. I nailed that one without even having to touch it up. I get lucky once in a while. And we go to this last one. Now, because of all the other bends I've got, you can see it's starting to form up very nicely into a nice box. This one here, I'm going to put in diagonal so it clears the vise. Just like this. There you go. Oh yes, it's very good. And then we're going to take that and bend that down. Now, I found with this one, I just didn't have enough leverage to be able to bend it all the way over. Plus, the vise is getting in the way, especially down here, my handles and stuff. So, take that out, give it a few taps with a hammer. Tapping is relative, by the way. And there we go. Whoops. There we have it. And you see what happens when you unbend that? Whoops. It broke right off. But you know what? That is going to be so not a big deal. I just tack weld that bad boy right in place. But I tell you what, man, that is a great outfit. Goes together very nicely. And boy, I can't possibly recommend it more highly. It's a really nice little step notch kit, and it's got the other plate on there, and I'll show you all that when I'm getting to building it. But there you go, guys. A very simple solution to a problem of step notching your frame. There you go, guys. Have a great one.